Lime bitters, lady and gents. Okay, so let's go through the ingredients first of all. So essentially what you're going to have is lime cordial. Okay, we're just going to make a pub lemon lime bitters. There's a couple of different variations where we're going to use fresh lime. Okay, and that's probably a very classic way. Most venues won't make, unless it's like an upmarket and expensive bar, we're not going to use limes in our lemon lime and bitters, okay, because limes are expensive, okay. The standard kind of pub lemon lime bitters, we use lemons and or lime cordial to actually sweeten it up, okay. So what we'll have in a lemon lime bitters is going to be lime cordial, bitters, most commonly called Angostura bitters, okay. You'll have, obviously lemon, okay, as part of your /garnish or ingredient. And then on the actual post-mix gun, you'll get to use these days, we're going to use lemonade, or in this case, Sprite, okay? So Sprite lemonade, it's actually limonade, okay? So it's not technically lemonade, but...
It's lemon and lime.
Yes, correct, okay? So that's the different flavours. So it's slightly different to say Kirk's original lemonade and everything like that. All right, so again, you see a lot of people make lemon lime bitters in different ways, okay? Some are good, some are bad, okay? What we want to do is try and show you the proper way, particularly when it comes to rimming the glass with your bitters to actually get the coating on there. So you have a lot of people who kind of, pour it all in together and swoosh it around with the post-mix gun.
The pouring?
Yeah, absolutely, we're going to show you how to do that. So the main thing you've got to understand is the bitters is actually going to coat the actual glass itself. Okay, so what you would normally do is pour a couple of drops in like that, 2 to 3 drops, like that. And then you're actually going to spin it down and around the glass. Okay, generally speaking, you've got too much excess in there, you just flick it on the floor like that. Obviously, you're not getting it on your pants because it'll stain. Okay, so as you can see, there the glass is now kind of rimmed with that kind of, bitters. Okay, and it will kind of go to the bottom there, okay. Something I would have prepared earlier was cutting up our garnish and our limes, our lemons, okay. So the first, I'll come back to that and start again. So first thing we want to do is show you guys how to cut up some of the bar fruit to ensure that you've got that ready to go. And again, this is part of your setup and start of the day preparations, okay. Depending on how much you get prepped, you can use, some of the fruit the next day. But generally speaking, this would be part of your daily bar routine setup, okay, or getting yourself ready for service. So when it comes to your lemons and limes, you've obviously got the ends of the fruit there, the pips, and what you want to do is try and cut that away to as close to the actual flesh as possible without cutting too much into the flesh, which is going to be wasting product. So it's all about trying to stretch out as much of the fruit as possible. Okay, so when it comes to your bar knife, obviously it's in your caddy there, bringing it out. The main thing you want to have is obviously a clean cutting board and then holding it. So when it comes to using a knife, and cutting, particularly when it comes to, cutting onion, cutting fruit or anything like that, the way you grip it is very important, okay? So again, it's kind of like a bit of an eagle claw grip, things like that. See how my fingers are kind of actually bent and coming back? Mm-hmm. So the main idea is that rather than having them out like that and cutting through my fingers, if it's going to actually slip, it's just going to come down like that and not really cut into my fingers as opposed to cutting through it there. And
so you just use your knuckles as a guide? Pretty
much, yeah. So they're basically there to keep it all in place. So the main thing you want to have to do is come over, cutting as close as possible to there, so a little bit more. And away we go. Okay, so you're going to do that on both sides. Just a fraction more. Oh, the bloody white. Okay, scraps. Okay. Resting it on like that, and you're just going to cut down the centre. Okay? 2 halves. Yep. Okay. And then what we're going to do, because we're just making we're not making full circles or anything like that, whereas normally we could actually just cut it in one piece and then have like an orange circle or a lime circle, and then we just cut one slice into it, and that just sits on the top of the glass like this. This is just going to be mainly your garnish as part of the ingredients there. So again, we're just cutting, not as scungy as that, Paul. Okay, so again, trying to get as many kind of pieces like that without cutting your fingers. The other thing there too is always have your finger on the knife as a guide, okay? So coming on down like that, and just being careful